Good morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is the 12th of January, 2022. It is Wednesday of the first week in Ordinary Time, the first week of the year. Front of the Rectory Friary, still has its wreath up. Hopefully, we'll see about taking things down this week. But everyone's always reluctant to let Christmas go, and we should be reluctant to let Christmas go. So, but we enter into Ordinary Time today. Two readings, of course. But the first reading is the calling of Samuel by God. So Samuel has been given to Eli to the temple by Hannah, and she has gone on her way. And Samuel and Eli have been working together in the temple, and the voice of God speaks to Samuel, Samuel, and Samuel thinks that Eli is calling him, and Samuel goes to Eli and says, what do you want? And Eli is, again, that whole thing where, no, it's not me, it must be God. And when God calls again, basically say, speak, Lord, your servant is listening. That whole understanding of, again, what it means to be faithful people in this world is to listen to the voice of God when God calls, and to be able to do then what God asks us to do. Again, not just hearing what the voice of God has to say, but listening to it, which means taking it in, digesting it, kind of understanding what it says and the impact it's going to have on our lives. That is what God asks Samuel to do, and why, again, he becomes one of the great leaders of Israel, who then again recognizes David as king eventually. In the gospel, it's just basically a series of snippets of Jesus doing great healings, here, there, and everywhere, casting out demons. Again, it's Mark's gospel, so it's all very quick. It begins, though, with that passage of Peter's mother-in-law. Again, showing that Peter was married, had a family, and even if he's the first pope, it means he was married, had a family. So again, marriage, priests, all those kinds of things. We can raise all kinds of questions for that. But she is sick, and Jesus heals her, and then she gets up and she serves him dinner or something like that. Always the big joke is Jesus wanted a nice lunch, and so he made Peter's mother-in-law get well so that she could make a good lunch for him, because she was known for her good lunch making. You don't want to go that way, but you do want to say the understanding about what it means to be healed. And again, this healing that happens to Peter's mother-in-law, the response it creates in her this great need, basically to serve, to be of service. Not just because Jesus healed her, because she doesn't just make a meal for Jesus; she makes a meal for everyone who's in that house, it seems. But the sense in which that gratitude begins to show itself in actions of care, of actions of concern, of actions of hospitality, of actions of generosity and graciousness. Again, the understanding always of what it means to be healed. We ask for healing all the time in so many ways, and when it happens, basically we just then go about our merry way. But the whole idea here in today's gospel is, how does it evoke in us a sense of graciousness, a sense of generosity, a sense of gratitude, thankfulness, a sense of hope, to be of service and care for one another. Again, the great mark of a believer in this world is to respond to things that happen to us differently than the rest of the world would respond to it, and by that response give witness to the world of something more that is active in our lives. May the Lord give you peace, St. Francis and people of God.